Hi, everybody. Welcome to Between the Vines. I am Jennifer Phillips Russo, Viticulture Extension Specialist from Cornell on the Lake Erie Regional Grape Program team. And I'm here with my co host, Andrew Holden, Business Management Specialist from Penn State University. Hi, Andrew.
Hey, how's it going?
So it has been a hot minute since we have come to you. We are dedicated to doing at least one a month, but we're going to try it for two a month at least during the growing season to keep you up to date on timely viticulture, IPM, and business management. Sort of telling you about what's happening and when during the growing season. Today is April 3rd, 2025, to let you know that we are gearing up to get ready for bud break and everything that is full speed ahead after that. But we wanted to kind of update you on what's been happening throughout the winter months and what to expect moving forward. As always, so we used to have Kevin Martin as our business management specialist. Andrew has been with us for an entire year now and doing a great job, if I might add. He has even been asked to be a keynote speaker by New York Wine and Grape Foundation at our BEV conference that happened that's held by the New York Wine and Grape Foundation and the Finger Lakes program, as well as the Craft Beverage Institute at Cornell University. So congratulations on that. Thank you for being a part and just immersing yourself into all things LERGP, New York and PA, and business management for grapes. How has it been over the last?
Yeah, it's been great so far. It's been a pleasure to work with all our growers and really learn more about this region. I'm from the Lake Erie region originally growing up, so it's dear in my heart. Great place to be, but I've really enjoyed learning more about our region, our growers.
So let me ask you this. This is sort of an interview of Andrew. I want to hear what people, because you have done a lot of reach out to our grower base and trying to learn more about what their business management needs are. So
Yeah.
what have you found? What are the common threads between both states in our industry?
Yeah, I would say the biggest needs, the biggest things I get questions about are cost of production for one. I mean, people want to make sure that they are being as profitable as possible and have a good understanding of costs and that they're not, overpaying or underselling their goods. But um, besides that, succession planning is a huge business management issue that we're keeping aware of and trying to help people with providing resources on as folks grow older and want to transition or retire and move that business on to the next generation, whether that's in the family or selling, the business to uh, uh, another generation of growers. That is something that we want to be able to provide resources for people. It's not the easiest task in the world, transitioning a business, and especially one that's so tied to the family, the family unit. Um,
It seems
where
like it would be an easy transition, right? Like, hey, I'm going to hand this down to my children. But in fact, there's a lot of nuances that go along with that.
yeah, and everybody's situation is different. So, that's something that we do more of a one-on-one consultation with because, well, there's good information that we can share and resources that we can share to the, um, general audience. A lot of this, uh, a lot of these discussions are ones that we can have directly with the family member. So, if that's something that anyone that's listening wants to talk to us about, talk to me about, we can set up a meeting at my office. I'd love to come out to the farm and talk about it. But yeah, succession planning is definitely one of the areas that will be a focus of mine moving forward.
So another thing that I would like to ask you about, because when you take a position in the Lake Erie region, we are a cool climate. So we have to deal a lot with cold weather and everything that comes along with cool climate and humidity and disease. But not only do you take a position in a cool climate region, but along with that, our industry is so diverse that we have the majority of it is a juice grape production,
Hmm.
although 40% of that also is wine grapes. So you have to learn two sides of the industry when you come into this position. And
Yeah.
I think that you have grabbed that And I know that you've given wine grape talks and juice grape talks. So how was that transition? And are you seeing things that are the same with both?
Yeah, definitely. It's a great question, Jen. Thanks.
Yeah.
Um, the biggest difference is when we're looking, from the business management side, when we look at juice grapes, it's treated as a commodity crop. It's high yield, lower, um, lower return per ton, but you, you treat that, differently than you would juice grapes, where they're farming a smaller acreage and
Or
getting
wine
a high.
grapes. Sorry, you said juice grapes.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, wine on wine grapes, you're farming a smaller acreage, and you're getting a higher return on that. So it's more of a specialty crop in that sense. Maybe we can consider all grapes specialty crops, but yeah. So there's definitely differences there. So working with different growers, um, they're facing different challenges, but at the end of the day, when it comes to business management, the economics of everything, the numbers of everything, it's all you know numbers at the end of the day. So
Right. And you provide it for both. And then I guess what I was trying to get at is that you have been exposed to both worlds and
yeah,
that you are more than capable to sit down with both sides of the industry and help them through the things that they need.
yeah, we're the Lake Erie Regional Grape Program. So if you're in our region and you have grapes, we're here to help.
Thank you. Oh, I love that. Love that. So being April, are there any, and this is very business focused right now. So I guess
Yeah,
before we even move forward, we should state that it has been tumultuous year because
yeah,
last year we had a very tough frost that happened. And actually, we have a disaster declaration in New York State because of all of the acreage that was affected by the frost, which then in turn went down to how do we manage our vineyards during a frost? Do we work on this? These were questions that came to me, but it is also
yeah,
based in the economic portion of it. What do
yeah,
we do about our nutrition program? So if you're farming vines that don't have any fruit on it, I certainly had given them information to maybe dial back and hopefully work off of your organic matter. So you could certainly dial back on some of that. You don't want to create huge bullwood vines that are going to be less fruitful. That was an issue that we all dealt with. Now, even moving forward, there were cash flow problems. So this is where I wanted to sort of tie into the fact that we have a grower and industry advisory committee for the Lake Erie Regional Grape Program. And what that is, our program is 2 state and 5 county. So we have Niagara County, New York, Erie County, New York, Cattaraugus County, New York, and Chautauqua County, New York, along with Erie County, Pennsylvania. And we look for grower representatives to sit on this advisory committee. This is our call out, our shout out that's saying we need you because we are actually down one representative, not down. We still have a full staff, but they term out. You can only be on that committee for so long. And we have one place in every one of those counties that's going to be opening up. What that does, we meet at least twice a year and we pool our growers and industry members as to what they think is important in our programming so that we're not just going willy-nilly and we're telling you what we think is important. Everything of all of our programming is a direct impact from this advisory committee group. So for instance, last year the advisory committee said, we've had this frost. What do we do about cash flow moving forward? And I'll let you talk a little bit about what came out of that.
yeah. The advisory committee is a great resource for us, and this being an example, we take their suggestions very seriously, and we use them to help point us in the right direction when it comes to programming that we offer. And I had the opportunity to take that question about cash flow and create a presentation for our annual growers conference, our winter grower conference, last month, and talk to growers about managing cash flow, keeping an eye on your cash flow to make sure we don't have any solvency issues. And uh, I think it was a productive conversation. It's really risk management, making sure we're prepared to handle years where there's a lack of cash flow, um, making sure that we have cash availability or can get our hands on loans or cash in other ways to cover those downturns. Um,
Yeah, that was
yeah.
fantastic. Just helping growers get through that. Because a lot of our growers are a co-op, right? We have national co-op and we national growers co-op, and then we have
Mhm.
growers co-op where they are actually owners in where they're processing their grapes. And because of that, this could affect their cash flow because there were no grapes coming in. So what do they do moving forward? And you gave a really great presentation. And if anybody out there would be interested in possibly learning more about that, please reach out to Andrew. He,
Yeah.
if you're in our region, or we even have people who are not in our region and in other states who are listening to this, you are more than welcome to be a part of our program, and we can give you that information. If you reach out to us, you can find our contact information on lergp.com or lergp.cce.cornell.edu. But that's a lot of dots to remember. So anything at lergp.com, we can direct you direct to that other website. We have two, one for registration for our events and stuff. But even out of that advisory committee with the frost and how to get through as economically, they also asked, what do we do? Because we seem to be seeing more and more of these. So I have research happening right now directly related to that on are there things we can do for frost mitigation or delaying bud breaks? So thank you. We heard you, and we are certainly working to try to resolve some of these with research-based ideas, getting us through with cool climate viticulture in this area.
Yeah.
So moving forward, we have, I know that we've had a terrible winter as well. Not terrible. Some people tell me normal, back to the old day
Yeah.
winters that we have had in the past, because they've been quite mild the last couple of years. With that said, we've had a lot of snow and just super cold weather, making it difficult to get out into our vineyards to do all of our pruning and our tying and checking posts and whatnot. So I know that there are some growers who are behind, that the weather has been quite conducive lately, with the exception of the wind. So I hope that you are out there and you're able to finish those practices. I know I've heard from some growers that they've had the pre-pruner go through, because our region is heavily mechanized. And that's not only due to labor issues, but just sheer the vast acreage that we have in this region. It is almost a necessity to go mechanized unless you are specialty in your own farm license at your winery or what it might be. I just had a grower the other day come to me and say that they had a list of who they handle now that are no longer in the system. Like, they've gotten bigger and the smaller growers have gotten out, which have caused this need for heavily mechanized. Mm-hmm. So a lot of our growers have said, we've gone through, we've pre-pruned the grapes, hand follow-up is an issue. Crews, the availability of crews and sharing of crews has been an issue. So we hear you. We are not much that we can do about it this year. There are programs out there that are available, and in call us if you have any questions and need support in that area, I guess I would say. So again, our information is out online. Would you be willing to share any of your slides that you presented at the grower conference if people were interested on the
Yeah.
Perfect.
Certainly. Yeah.
And also just reach out to Andrew. So Andrew would be more than willing to have a conversation with you. I was muted and I didn't realize I was muted. Yeah, there you go. Welcome back, everybody. I was just saying, before we sign off, it's been a while. We don't want to inundate you with too much information right off the bat. Welcome back to Between the Vines. This is the season for 2025. We will be having our what we call coffee pot meetings. They are regional grower meetings intended for us to go to each one of those counties that I mentioned earlier, meet with growers. Growers open up their barns or whatever structure they have, and we go there and we sit and we have informal conversations based in research for timely viticulture, IPM, and business management. They are every Wednesday starting in May and going through July. I think there's always one or two that we don't hold because of either a holiday or usually there's a conference that a lot of us have to go to at that time. But you can find that schedule online. And we started off, I believe, May 7th. Could you know off the top of your head on that one? It's the first Wednesday in May. We'll put it that way.
Yeah,
And
it's the seventh.
is it the 7th? And I know that it is at shout out to Militello's for hosting the kickoff, and that is in Chautauqua County. So if you want more information on that, it's on our website, lergp.com. Click the upcoming events button and it'll take you to all of those. Yes, there are DEC and PDA recertification credits for each one of those meetings. We bring coffee and donuts and, of course, stimulating conversation. And it's always good just to get back in touch with your grower base, your peers, and hear what they're doing, what's working for them, what isn't. And then we, of course, have information for you as well about IPM, viticulture, and business management. Do you have any?
I really enjoyed the coffee pots last year, being part of that for the first time. And yeah, I encourage everybody, if you have one close to you, come out. It's a good time. It's a good chance to ask us, try and stump us with some questions, and get get us looking into what you think we should be looking into.
Thank you for stating that because a lot of the research, even with Cornell and Penn State researchers, not extension, yep, has come directly from the grower conversations that we have at the coffee pot meetings. They are, I think, super informative, a great informal way to see what everybody else is doing and how you can maybe take some of that and implement it into your operations. But they've been also recognized. I have had other states, I have had Texas, I have had Colorado, other states ask me about how we get our information out there. It just seems natural to us because we've been doing it for so long. And it does. It's very successful and works very well that other people are trying to incorporate that into their outreach. So thank you for everybody who has been a part of those. We've even had other commodities join in on our groups because number one, they needed credits, but number two, they just enjoyed being there with us. So they kept coming back and liked the information and could use some of that in their own operations. So please look at our website, join us for our coffee pods. Best of luck in the start of the growing season. I will tell you, it is really important that you should take note of your bud break and all of your blocks and start collecting that data so you can see trends over time. And again, reach out to us if you want information on how to do that.
Before
yeah,
we
please, because and we're done.
I have one last thing. This whole year, there's been this whole past year, there's been grants, most of them stemming out of COVID and a lot of money put towards the food supply chain and that sort of thing. And there's really two that are left, as far as I know, that are either currently on their way or going to be coming up soon. And these ones will be just for our New York growers. The one that's open right now, and it has, this is the third, and it closes on the 7th of April. So it's coming up very quickly. But if you happen to hear this in the next day or two and you're interested, it's the NASDA, which is the National Association of State Departments of Agriculture, Business Builder Subaward. And that one is for small and mid-sized farms and food businesses. And it's a supply chain focused grant. So it's post-harvest. For grape growers, it would count towards bulk bins and trailers, not the gondolas the infield gondolas, but the bins and the trailers. Also, for wineries, specialty equipment for your cellar would be possibly covered if you meet the small or medium size requirements. And it could also cover hiring a consultant, to look into new products, new markets. I foresee that on the winery side more than the grower side. But if you have any interest in it, like I said, quick turnaround, but give me a call if you have any questions. If you search NASDA Business Builder Grant, you can find the information there, and you should be able to get applications in before the 7th. And then the final one that we're still watching, I get a lot of questions on, is the Resilient Food Systems Infrastructure Program, and that is through, it's funded through the uh, New York Department of Agriculture and Markets, and they said it should be out early in 2025, but we're still waiting for it. It's one of those things that USDA, a lot of USDA information, a lot of USDA funding is still up in the air currently. So we're waiting to hear that one to be released. But if you follow us and follow our crop updates, I will let people know as soon as that one's available, and that will be for New York growers as well. For bulk equipment would be the main use for it. But
Yeah,
yeah.
thank you. Thank you. I'm glad that you reminded me to talk about grants a little bit. One other thing that I should let you know that's coming down the pike. So I said, look for your bud break that's coming out there. Please be mindful or cognizant of your fertility then and when you put that down and the timing that you're going to put that down in. So 80% of your time should be devoted to that soil health. So your water or how to remove excess water in your vineyards, your pH, which is the number one thing. If you're going to do anything in your vineyards, it's that I want you to know about your pH and know how to move that. You want that sweet spot of 5.5 to 6.5. That's when most of those nutrients are available for the vine at those. And then there's also that play that happens if it gets too low, you could have toxicities, or that those nutrients that might be in your soil will not be available for your vine to take up because they're bound a little bit more into the soil. So, and then if it gets too high, you can see some, magnesium and potassium. They have an interplay. Just reach out if you have questions and we can help you with that. And if you are a member of the Lake Erie Regional Grape Program, and this goes from our members who are out of state, they have also reached, if you are a member of our program, we will give you recommendations on your soil sample results that you get for your inputs moving forward. So that's coming up. Have a plan for it. Reach out and we can help you with that.
If someone's not a member, Jen, how's the best way for them to become a member?
That's a great question. Oh man, I feel like we're salespeople now. But there are certain things that we offer to members, and that is also the latest and updated crop updates that come out. If you're not a member, you can still access crop updates on our website, but they will be the last 6 months. Like you don't get the most recent ones there. So there's what's the word I'm looking for?
Advantage.
Thank you. It has been a week. There are advantages to being a member because you get discounts. It's certain programs that are out there and you get the most updated things. And then you get access to those recommendations and stuff like that we give. And you can get that by clicking the link on our website that is Become a Member. And you don't have to be in New York State or PA to do that. We have members in outside states that join our just to get our, information is knowledge, like knowledge is power, right? So just to get that knowledge that's out there. And please share our podcast link with others and subscribe. You can download anywhere you listen to your podcast. So we look forward to more moving forward this season, and welcome back.
Ooh.
Bye, everybody.